Hello, everyone, and welcome to this time of exhale. It is hopefully a moment for all of us who are joining to just take a break from our week, from whatever it is that we might be going through in this season, and hopefully just take some time to decompress, maybe have some moments of prayer, maybe even chatting with each other. So we thank you for your time tonight. That you have joined us on our YouTube channel. So we hope that you will like it and also use the opportunity to chat with other folks if you wish to do so. If you need to just share how things are going in your life right now, or if you want to lift up a specific prayer concern, or maybe just say hi to whoever else might be with us this evening, we hope that you are able to do so. My name is Andy Whitaker Smith. I'm one of the associate pastors at First United Methodist Church in Lakeland. And we are taking this time in the middle of Holy Week and whatever else may be going on in our week to hopefully just exhale, as the service is called. It's not really a full service per se. It is really just kind of a prayerful devotional time for us just to sort of sit back and maybe reflect on how things are going. Maybe to share with each other how things are going. And again, if there are folks who who may be looking for a time to just kind of decompress, to exhale, to just take a few moments to prayerfully consider where we are all going in life, where we are right now, and how it is that we can continue to do that together. We hope that this is a meaningful time for you. This will not take very long. We were doing an online worship service Sunday mornings about once a month, and it was a pretty full service, usually going from about 40 minutes to about 60 minutes. But we know that time is a weird thing right now. It doesn't seem to work the way that we thought it used to, and so hopefully just this time to kind of catch our breath, just take a short break, will hopefully be helpful. Of course, these videos will remain on our YouTube channel. So if you'd like to share them with anyone, or just to come back and kind of decompress again, these videos will remain on our channel for you. So as we kind of center ourselves, and hopefully we were able to do so in those first few moments, but as we continue to do so, we're just going to share just a short gospel story, and then sort of reflect upon it, and then hopefully use some time of prayer to just continue to center ourselves, to be in a spirit, hopefully, of calmness, of quiet, and just use this time to recenter ourselves. And so as we are in a time of Holy Week, we, of course, in the church world are preparing for Easter. But before we do that, we acknowledge that even in that time of celebration that we call Easter Sunday, there are some hurdles that we have to go through in order to complete that part of the journey. And certainly we have experienced our fair share of those, in fact, some even more than others. That may include you who are worshiping with us right now. But one of the stories that we're going to be looking at this evening comes from a series that we've been working on at First Lakeland, which is called The Kingdom of God is Like. And it's going over the various parables and stories that Jesus tells to try to explain to people in one way or another what the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven looks like. Now, many times when we think of that, we might think of some faraway, distant time or place. And the only way that we can get there is to end our human life so that we can start our next one. And of course, there is some truth to that. But part of what Jesus is saying in these parables is that it is not just a future place or future time. It is not a future reality. It is also still very much a present reality. And so Jesus tells stories about, the kingdom of God is like a mustard seed that may start small but grows very large, or it is like a child who asks for his inheritance, squanders it, and then comes home and is forgiven. Or it's like everybody being paid the same wage. And so Jesus would tell these stories and try to use imagery to help us understand that it is a very real and present reality that we can be a part of right now. And stories are fantastic. They help us to understand things that we might not really fully embrace otherwise. But sometimes we just simply need to know, or we just simply want to know. And that's part of the story that we encounter tonight. And this is going to come from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 17. And so Jesus is in the midst of his ministry still, and he's approached by some Pharisees. Now, Pharisees are like religious scholars, religious professionals in the time of Jesus. They consider themselves to be the most knowledgeable, those who can minister to others. And yet here comes Jesus, who does not have that professional background or status or role. changing people's lives, changing their mindsets, changing the way that they see things. And so finally, one day, one of the Pharisees approaches Jesus, and this is what happens. The story goes, once Jesus was asked by the Pharisees when the kingdom of God was coming. And Jesus answered, the kingdom of God is not coming with things that can be observed, nor will they say, look, here it is, or there it is. For in fact, the kingdom of God is within you. Now, again, that might not necessarily be the question that the Pharisees were looking for. It might not be the answer to the question that we are looking for sometimes when we are asking God, or we are just asking whoever might be listening, or maybe just blank space, what is it? Where is it? Or maybe even more to the point, what am I supposed to be doing? And maybe that's a question that we're examining right now in one way or another. What am I looking for? What am I supposed to be doing with my life, especially in this last year? What is the point of all of this? What is the purpose of all of this? What am I supposed to be doing? And we might sometimes get answers like, we're just supposed to have faith, or we're just supposed to trust. Or we might get an answer like, we just need to look inside ourselves. And that might be one of the first things we think of when Jesus says the kingdom of God is within you. And of course, there are truths to all of those statements. But again, it may sometimes feel like we're being, pushed aside, or maybe not listened to, or it's just kind of an afterthought. This idea that we are to look inside ourselves. And so if what we think we're looking for is an answer, that might not be the best statement to hear. But perhaps part of what Jesus is doing is to try to get us to understand that when we look inside ourselves, it is not so much an answer that we receive or that we experience, but perhaps a connection, or perhaps a remembrance of our connection, a remembrance of our identity, a remembrance of who we are. And that as Jesus takes time to be with us, that as Jesus takes time to speak to us, in one way or another, Jesus is reminding us that there is something within us that already connects us to that great purpose, even if we don't fully understand what that is. We are to look within ourselves for the kingdom of God, and how it is that we are a part of that kingdom, and how it is in the very core of who we are, of who we have been created to be. And so perhaps part of our restlessness this last year, or maybe even for some of us the last several years, is we are wrestling with not just trying to discover our purpose, but also trying to rediscover our identity, rediscover who we are and what our path is supposed to be. Now, tonight is not about answering all of those questions, if those questions are a part of our struggle and a part of our journey right now, but just to take time to exhale, to just take a time to decompress, to just take a time to open ourselves to the possibility of what might God have in store for us. And so as we do this, as we go into this time of prayer, we will do so for several minutes. And as we do this, I want to share with you a very powerful quote by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Now, some of you may recognize that name. He's an astrophysicist, a planetary scientist. And years ago, he made an equation about who we are as humans and how it is that we are connected to the cosmos. And for me, this has always been a really powerful recognition, I think, of what Jesus means by saying the kingdom of God is within us. And so as we go into this time of prayer, again, allow the quote to guide you, maybe just allow the music to guide you, or just have a time to simply exhale. That we might use these moments just to simply reconnect and re-identify with who we are as God's people. And so as we continue this Holy Week, as we go toward the end, but also toward the beginning, a new beginning, I invite us to keep looking up, to keep looking to see where it is that the kingdom is around us, but also within us. In the struggles and the questions that we might have, that we might also listen to ourselves, perhaps to that voice that has been trying to get our attention, maybe for years at this point, and to just simply listen, but to remember that the kingdom of God is within us. I thank you for this time this evening. I hope it was helpful for those of us who were a part of it. And again, please feel free to share with others. And as we come to the next time we are able to exhale together, we will send you that link and that information. We hope that you continue to have a powerful and meaningful Holy Week. Know that we will all keep looking up together.